When you're fishing these plastics, without any live bait and the heavier jig, you fish them a little more aggressively than you would a lighter jig with the minnow. More of almost a snap, to get the jig about 6 inches off bottom and then drop it. It's a harder lift. You want to activate that tail and drop it back down. And that way you can get that rattle shaking down there, get the tail activated. You want that jig to bounce when it hits the bottom, so it's a snap and then down. Snap and then down. Snap and then down. And it's a little more aggressive action. Again, you're trying to trigger fish that are either, in a negative mood and just triggering them by that response as it comes by them, or the fish that are really aggressive, they're just going to really move on the jig because it's such an aggressive presentation.
Oh, got one. Go, Jim.
All right, John.
I think I was a little overdue there.
Yeah, you were. Stinger hook.
Boy, stinger comes into play on this. You can really fish these baits aggressively. You can see after they make a swipe at it, that stinger is really key to have on there. You're fishing big, aggressive plastics like this. I don't know if you can hear that rattle, but he's really chasing after that sound and the sound of the vibration of that tail, and really just attacking it today.
Hey, John, why don't you show them what we're putting on that jig?
Yeah, here's what we're actually doing as I let this guy go. We're actually using today a 5/8 ounce Lindy Jumbo Fuzzy Grub head. And what we put on this is a white shad body bait, and we've actually inserted a rattle. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but we've got a rattle inserted in there, and also we got the stinger hook, because these fish are really jumping all over the aggressive motion of the bait. We've got a big head, we've got a big profile. They're really going after it, so that stinger really helps you get some of those fish that you might not have a chance to really hone in on that bait as it's kind of moving by them really quick. So yeah, and added to the sound and the bulk of this bait, we've actually added a little bit of scent. We've got this shad scent that we're spraying on there, just to give us a little bit extra advantage.
So John, you put everything together. You got a big jig that's going to bounce aggressively on bottom. Every time it hits bottom, it's going to call them in. You got the vibration of the shad tail, you got the rattle, and you got scent. You're really taking advantage of all the senses of the fish, trying to call them in from a distance. And when you don't have to fish minnows, it's such a simple system because you're not reaching the bait bucket. You just catch a fish, let them go, drop back down there and get another one. It's a fast situation where if you got a short feeding window and maybe the fish are only feeding for a half hour or an hour, you can catch a lot more fish on these plastics than you can taking your time with live bait.
And fortunately today we got a little bit warmer of a day, but tendencies in spring are to have cold days, and really getting your hand wet inside that minnow bucket